I have no doubt that jacked up Joe will probably return to the stage after a heavy dose of, caffeine, Red Bull, or whatever he took before the State of the Union. That was weird. Don't expect a walk in the park.
Okay, so again, if you thought that your guy could beat him, you would not start months out talking about how, Joe Biden's gonna be so full of energy and it's not gonna be a walk in the park and he's gonna be all like hyped up. But like, even the theory is stupid. He said, what is he on? He was on caffeine or Red Bull, which means caffeine. So he was on caffeine or caffeine. Oh no. Did the guy drink caffeine before his big speech? That is a scandal. Ken Klippenstein should really get on that and start investigating. Yeah, you probably have some caffeine. Well, hold on. Is there no coffee machine in the Fox News studio? Is Sean Hannity not drinking coffee? I'm literally drinking coffee right now for energy. That's not cheating. And think about it. If it's a walk in a park or not, and the only difference is whether Joe Biden has some coffee beforehand, that doesn't say that much about Joe Biden. It definitely says something about Donald Trump and your views of his ability to debate. Hey, I'm glad you're here. Listen, in order for the damage report to keep on going, we need viewers like you to become a member on YouTube. Can you click the join button on YouTube today? Thank you. Now that said, he also is gonna get into some of the rigging, I guess. The ways that theoretically this debate could be set up in a way that would be too tough for Trump, who again, he clearly doesn't think he's gonna win this thing. Here he is talking about the standards that he would like in it.
I would add that moderators' mics, they need to be muted also after a question. Why? Because it's obvious the liberal media, they'd love to be 2-on-1 versus Donald Trump. No, that can't happen. Nor should networks be allowed to put anything on the screen but the names of the candidates, because they might try to hurt Donald Trump that way and participate that way. No go.
No go, except you're not in charge. Like you're complaining. That doesn't mean it's gonna happen or whatever. I'd like popcorn for everyone watching. No go, you're not in charge, buddy. I love both of those. So what does it say when you say, as soon as they're done asking a question, they need to be stopped? They literally can't say anything. You know that Donald Trump is not gonna answer the question. You know that, by the way. Like if you were really worried about Joe Biden filibustering and not answering the question, well, then you wouldn't want this. You'd want them to potentially be able to do follow-ups. But you know that Donald Trump is not going to answer the actual question. You want them to ask pointless questions that he'll avoid and just waste our time. That's all you're telegraphing to me. And then, they can't interrupt. You can't. Nothing else on screen is my favorite thing. He means don't fact check Donald Trump. If Donald Trump tells the same lie that he's told 1,000 times, that has already been fact checked 1,000 times, and they're ready for it, and Trump does it, no, you don't get to show anything. No, you don't get that level of control. Now, don't put like inflammatory things up there. Don't put unfair things. Don't opine in your on-screen graphics. I don't want them to do that any more than Sean Hannity does. But come on, if they fact check, that's gonna be a problem. And do it for Biden too, by the way. Joe Biden made a lot of promises during his campaign, hasn't come through on a lot of them. If they want to point that out, perfectly legitimate. I think they should do that. Because unlike Sean Hannity, and the same way that I talked about the trial, I'm actually perfectly comfortable with a neutral, fair playing field. Fox News is not at all comfortable with that. And I want to get to Hannity making the exact same sort of mistake, we're gonna end on this, that he always makes in trying to score a point and accidentally kicking himself in the face. Take a look at this.
And while we're at it, there should be no notes, no teleprompters, Joe. In other words, Joe, you don't get giant cheat sheets.
There's nothing I love more than you whining about how they should get a teleprompter when you flub reading a line off of your teleprompter. He's literally on a teleprompter the whole show. I know that you might assume that that's not the case because I'm doing the show, there's no teleprompter or whatever. That's not how television news works. He reads all these monologues off a teleprompter. He makes mistakes literally constantly. We don't even do it anymore, but for a while we were doing things where every time they would talk about Joe Biden, how his brain is failing and he can't put 3 words together, and they would mess up while saying that, we would clip it together. There were multiple times on that episode where he did that exact same thing. He was trying to make the point that Joe Biden has lost a step, and he clearly has lost a step, even though he has got robotic assistance as he's misstepping. Anyway, we'll see what ends up happening with the debate, if we have them at all. I feel like the safe bet at this point is he's already agreed to one. I think at least 50% chance that he shows up for that one. I think it will go poorly. Like in every other case in which he has debated a Democrat, I think he will lose. And then I think no go after that. I think he'll pull out of the other ones and that'll be it. Because when you're up in the polls or whatever, like why risk it? And especially when your guy is such a bad debater. We'll see what happens in terms of the polls at that point. But I would not predict 2 or 3 debates, but we'll see. When you click the join button and become a tier 2 member, you get access to all of our weekly top 10 lists. What are you waiting for?